Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video. Are you guys, is it weird to see me on my own channel again? I bet that's kind of weird, right? I feel like I've just been on everyone else's but mine. But yeah, we're going to talk about a quick, just look at the top 16 and meta for Dallas. I'm probably like the last one, and for a change, and a lot of these, I kind of leaned on other people to get the data for me this time, which I hope is okay. So shout outs to everyone who like DPS Dax and Scott Slater and George Machado for getting all this information out. I really do appreciate it. But also, before we start, I need to give a big shout out to Chuck O'Bro. He got me my yellow Broly's for my event, and I totally didn't like tell him, I didn't give him a good enough shout out. So Chuck O'Bro, this is for you. Hopefully that saves you, and this video is popular, so everyone hears your name. So let's get into it. First, let's go to the leader breakdown for this event. I'm also going to talk kind of a little bit about my how all this worked for my deck. If so, hopefully that's not too overwhelming or people care about that. But a lot of Kid Coup, of course, almost 25%, and there was almost more Kid Coup than the next two combined of Super Shunner and Green Broly. But Kid Coup is it's really, I really like the deck, and a lot of other people do. It has a really straightforward game plan, but also it has a lot of room for variation and that kind of stuff. So it's really cool. And you can build it so many ways. Yellow and black and blue and black are the two most popular, but you can always do the other two as well. Really awesome deck. So there's that. Super Shenron, 27%, not surprising. So this deck's really hard to play, and I don't think that's highlighted enough. And so kind of towards the end of the day, yeah, only 3 topped, but like yeah, so it was kind of like a bell curve of just like a lot of people did very well. Or, like it split in half. Like some people did really well, and some people it was a really tough deck. So that's kind of how that worked. Green Broly, just because this archetype is really popular as well, and it's kind of cheap besides the secret rare right now. But it's kind of doing what I predicted. A lot of people were really afraid of it at first, and then it is kind of waning away as people are figuring out. And even though it got second, spoilers, but yeah, it can be still a really strong deck, but people are turning away from that. Yellow Broly got a little bit more representation this week. People are getting greedy with using Shugesh with it, which I think is a good call, because not everyone has room for Chronoa. I did not put Chronoa in my side deck. So I think that's a really good call. 12 Janimbas, so not a lot, but 4 of them made it to top 16, right? So that's like, I'll say like the second best, third best ratio of getting into the top. So that's really good. Shenron 7. I know like half of them were like the Scout Report guys with their Boo Shenron, and it was actually really close to topping. They did really well with it. So, but not a lot of representation there. A lot of people just use Super Shenron if they want to do that kind of game. 5 Blue Dende agents kind of waning. It was, I don't know if it's just because people are figuring out, or just how oppressive Super Shenron can be sometimes, but that's too bad. 4 Pan, that's our first red deck. So it's the I don't know. I think Pan can be really good right now, but I just don't think people are. I've had a lot of ideas, and I'm happy to see that it got some representation, and I'm hopefully it gets someone figures like the last secret formula to make it work. So there's that. 3 Cell. If the cell chain goes off, it's devastating right now. Like, can you imagine doing a cell chain against a Super Shenron? Like, what do they do, right? But it's still really hard to do, and it's not as consistent. 3 Golden Frieza. I'm guessing all of them with the Lemon Line variant. 1 of them got to top 16, so that's really good. 3 Red Gogeta. 2 Chile and Limo, which means 50% of them made to top 16. Hot dog. We've got 2 Pirangas, and I'm guessing, and 2 Hercules. I'm guessing the Piranga builds were all of the Frieza's Army ones. Two yellow dende. I know one of them was John Dom. Shout out to him with the Danny build for the Frieza one. One black Broly. Oh yeah, shout out to this guy. This guy's deck was really cool. I looked at it. It was really fun. One Energy Boo. One Jackie Chun. Ooh, Jackie Chun. I forgot. I almost brought Jackie Chun. Like he's one of my favorite leaders. And last time I was in Dallas, I brought him. So that's really fun to see that. One Lord Slug. One Mira. One Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. One Master Saiyans, shoutouts to Eric, one Vegeta Baby, and one Yamcha. So that's 170. So still really diverse, to be honest. Of course, like the top, top 5 decks was probably 100, over half, but that's still not too bad. I think a lot of people are kind of experimenting with the meta right now, and I think that's good. So there's that. And let's go into the top 16. We've got, for top 16 leaders, we've got 4 Kid Ku and 4 Janemba. Like, once again, Janemba did really well, saying that only, 12 people brought it. I think a lot of people are afraid of it because of Tien, and I think that's really fair. But I think people, once they learn to play around it, it's a lot better, and there's options. It still has some bad matches, but it's just such a consistent deck. And just the fact that your win condition is in your leader, you can never truly brick, I guess. So there's that. 3 Super Shenron, which I faced all 3 in Top Cut, which is really funny to me. I dodged it all day 1, and but I feel like it was kind of like a good redemption in the sense of, if I didn't face a Super Shenron, people were like, oh, Egman's deck is good, but it loses a Super Shenron. So I think that was a good thing that happened. But yeah, really strong showing, and all 3 of them are just monsters to face. So there's that. We've got 2 yellow Broly. Both of them were different. There's the more traditional Victory Strike version, and then there's the GT version by Marcel Russell. So those are really cool. I faced against the GT one, and it is very scary. It can be really powerful, especially once again, no one's running. They're all running Shugash, and no one's running Cronoa. So there's that. One green Broly who made the top cut, and and Rohit was just on fire yesterday or this week, and I don't feel like he gets enough credit for how well he did, and just because maybe it's a little bit watered down with how good green Broly has been and how good it's getting to top, but he did amazing, getting to second both days, like that's crazy, yeah, he did a really good job, so congrats to him. Me. And then a Golden Frieza player, who was, what's his name? Jacob. Really cool guy, did really well, and I'm happy he made it as well. So I let me see, how many people of this did I face? So of the 15, so 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5, and then one of the middle players, 6. So like almost over a third of the players in the top 16 I played that day. So that's really cool to think about, because I only got to play 8 plus 3, 11 games. So half the games I played, people got into the top 16. So that's a really cool statistic that I just rambled off. So now that there's just that, let's go over to good old DBS decks for all the deck lists. They put all these there. I did none of the work this time, which I appreciate, but in a lot of ways. So shoutouts to them, and let's get into it. So let's start off with Mr. Hernandez Superstorm deck. So his variant, a couple of key things. One, he mains Victory Strike. He has the Height of Mastery Victory Strike package, and so I feel like a lot of the decks, they start with kind of go half and half. They start with the Storm variant and then go into Height of Mastery if they need it. He did it the other way, which I think is good, and he had a lot of interesting, like running 3 Nimbus in main. Normally people run 1 or 2, so I think that helped him get to his Victory Strike. 3 Successor of Hope, that's also a weird number, because mostly people run 4 just because it's a free card into your drop, but it worked out for him. And also Super Dragon Balls. I saw him, and also what's his name, Ryan also experimented with this in their deck. I thought it was a good call. And as long as you're playing, it's a greedy call, because especially since they're not running 1-star ball. I think 1-star ball would have helped both these players, but in in games where they needed to go off sooner. But it definitely worked out, and yeah, it could be really great. A +2, and then just being able to drop all your combo pieces in your drop without having to attack with it, because that can be an issue sometimes. There's that. Everything else, he ran some overwhelm, which was interesting. So you can take another turn, but like this can be good. Haru he ran 4 of. There are a lot of yellow decks in the yellow and green decks in the top, so that worked a lot for him. And he also did the Cronoa, and he put Whis and Dark Power Black Mastane as well. So a really strong deck. It was a great game as well. For him, I think this deck beat mine 100%. And so I'm kind of actually lucky it didn't go on stream, because it was not very good for me. But yeah, since it was a faster Victory Strike deck, and since he gets more consistent cycle, it just means it's definitely more in his favor. I don't think it's impossible, but it's really, and he can self-awaken. I cannot with the Chile and Limo. So it was definitely an uphill battle for me to win anything. So it wasn't a it was really favored in him, in my opinion. So there's that. So next up we've got Daehan's. This was a really close match in a lot of ways. He had so he did the other thing of where you just kind of start off with Storm, and then you have the Height of Mastery package in the side, and really what you do is you just side out all your blue, because you're only running 8 blue. You're running 4 Sensu Bean and 4 Preface, and then you just go from there. But just really strong if you're able to start going off. In our matches on stream, it was really close. In game 2, he sided into the Height of Mastery Sengoku package, and that's really strong, especially against my deck who can't self-awaken. And we had to go all the way to game 3, but yeah, just a really good game, and yeah, just super good for the meta. I think he got first on day 1 as well, so yeah, I think it's great. So there's that. Next up we've got let's see, Ryan's deck. So he kind of opted, so this is kind of like most of these cards, if you look at them, they're like, there's a lot in common with Anthony's deck. The big difference for me is that he started out with Height of Mastery, but he didn't go full greed with Victory Strike in the main, but he sided it, which I thought was an interesting choice, and I agree that you don't need it for all decks. So I think that's probably why he did so well. But yeah, it's really strong. Only running 2 Dragon Radar was also questionable. I think having more of these would help, especially get your Child's Wish. But it's not like you're not trying to spam out full Child Wish, so I guess that makes sense to me. And once again, he's also running Super Dragon Ball. And the side mostly Wish to Porunga was an interesting choice. On the side, it would have been it's kind of like a kind wish in a sense. So that would have been cool to see it go off. And also the Mastane is on the side. If you're just really scared of like Kidku, then like sacrificing your extra turn for that could make sense to me. And also the Bardock in the main. I wonder how many green Broly's he went against to make that worth it. But there we go. Next up we've got Rohit's, his green Broly. And so I feel like a lot of these green Broly decks, over half the deck's made for you, right? Because you have to have all the pieces of your combo. You have to have your 1-drops, you have to have your 2-drops, your control mechanism, your super combos. So most of it's made for you. But I think he made a really good call. I think, once again, the yellow package I think is the best for this deck. Being able to run Nimbus right now is great, and Cold Bloodlust is really good. 2 Tragic Awakenings I think was a good call too. That helps a lot. And the Hidden Power East Supreme Kai, just being able to make anything a win condition I think is good. And then in the end, 3 Shocking Death Balls. Shocking Death Ball is like one of the best negates right now for a lot of decks, especially Kidku. Like they just are afraid of attacking, and you just blow up their 1-drop, which generates value for them. So that's really good. Nothing else super crazy from there. Just pretty not generic, but just a lot of people run these No Escape Sengokus, and they must be afraid of Gogeta. And I think Gogeta can be really scary, and I'm actually surprised it didn't show up more than it did. But I guess I lucked out because I didn't sign anything against it. So there's that. Let's see. then there's my deck. If you just need to see how it looks, I did a deck profile on like 100 channels for this, so and it's there, so link it if you want. If I was to change anything, I would experiment more with the 9-drop Broly, just because that, even though it like doesn't do that much, the fact that you can like further lock down your opponent can be really good. And something to be said about the super combos, which are based on life, and I can't self-awaken. So maybe doing some sparking super combos might be good, even though this card's really good. Like, you really want this card to go off. So there's that. But yeah, really good deck. If you want more information, just go for it. I really hope more Chile decks show up. I really love this archetype. So there is that. And then we're going to the Kid Coup. So we've got 3 of the blue black, and then we've got my good pal Gabriel with the yellow version, but we'll go into the blue version. So this one was really cool, and this is the one that got that tied top 4 with me. But the fact that he has like a lot of the Kid Coups don't have like big finishing options, like they usually just run like Demigra in that, but this one's really cool, especially like Gogeta Hero Revived is like no joke, when I first made a Kid Coup deck, it was to have this guy in it, because I was like, oh, there's all this blue stuff already, it'll be great. And I really do think it's great. And once again, against a lot of decks right now that just go ham in this kind of stuff, I think it's crazy. I think we're at a point where we can get greedy enough where we can run Objection in this deck. So I think to take this to the next level, and especially since you have just so much like card draw and stuff, I think Objection in this deck would be really good. It will get you where you need to go, and I think it'd be I'd like to start seeing that as well. So but just a really strong deck. Got to 4th or top 3 with me, or tied third with me. We didn't play it out just because the prizes was the same, but yeah, and also like having 3 Black Mass Saiyan in the main was cool. I'm surprised there's no Borgos. I'd say that's like the one card I'd say is missing. But other than that, I think the deck looks really good. So shoutouts to him. And yeah, I would actually be really scary because we both go off on turn 5. And if he Gogetas me, I'm in tough water. So since I was in top 4, I was either going to play Anthony, Chad, or Rohit. And so I think Anthony was probably the worst matchup for all 3 of those choices, but Gogeta is really scary against me, or for me, and then also yeah, it could have been. I think a lot of these games could have gone either way. So there's that. Next up, we've got Daehan. He's got let's see, pretty much the same thing, but he's not going into. He didn't decide to go into Gogeta, which I mean, if you're running these guys already, why not, right? Like it's a free win condition and sometimes, and he's also not even running Demigra, which I thought was interesting. But he's running the Mass Saiyan for the mirror match. He's running 6 balls, which is crazy. 8, so more defensive, and just I guess training buddy Krillin just kind of carries you for that. But yeah, this just seems like a more just grindy one. Just there's no like big win condition, but you just have a lot of counters, and I guess like game 2 and 3, you just sides specifically for your opponent to make it easier. But there's that, and then we've got Tony's, and he's getting a little let's see, yeah, and he's running blue, and you're running the Vegeta and Goku anyways. Run the Gogeta, but his did really well as well. Running let's see, Shenron in this deck is crazy. I've experimented with it. Just being able to get Krillin for free, which gets Vegeta for free, that feels really good. And also let's see, and you can get like your super combos back and stuff, but just a 20k for free is great. And in worst case, you can even bring like your 1-drops, like Goku's and Android 8s back. So let's say you need to blow stuff up, you can get whatever piece of the combo you're missing. And there's just like a lot of recursion with Power Burst too, being able to get these guys. So really, really cool deck. He's also running the Borgos, so you can get Borgos back, which is great. And after that, nothing too crazy. He's running 2 Son Goten Family Justice, which I thought was an interesting call. I wonder what that was cited for, and then also 2 Haru Haru. Haru Haru is just great, so in more aggressive decks. So there is that. And then we've got Gabriel. Torres played him in round 8. It was really good. We were both kind of potentially on the bubble, right? So I guess we weren't truly on the bubble, but 1-6-2 didn't make it, and it wasn't Gabriel. But really good game. Yellow can just do a lot of crazy stuff, especially being having fearless assault and having bad rings, and I'm the world champion to draw 2. And just a really strong deck, and being able to run Demigra. Having the Dimensional Banisher Food's really good. And let's see, on the side, running Cargo on the side. Like, Cargo can be so good against the mirror match. It's crazy. Also, why is he running Deathball? I guess, what does Deathball do? Okay, so, I mean, it still can just KO something and rest, right? Okay, I guess that's, if that's correct, then that can be really good. Like, if someone's not looking into it. So, because it can just destroy a Broly for 1 energy. I could see that. If that's truly what it's for, I could see that being really good. And 2 Crisis Crushers too, which I think could be good. So, shoutouts to Gabriel. Next, we're going into the mill decks. Shoutouts to Kelsey Samples. No joke, we sat next to each other like 8 rounds out of what, 11 or so. Like he it was really funny, like, and it was always like I was a bounty too, and so he always like, I need to play you so I can get that bounty. But he did really well. Shouts to him, really cool guy. Kelsey, if you're out there, hit me up. I just wanna, you're just really cool. So I had a lot of fun talking with you, and I'm happy you did really well. So so he had some spice in this mill stuff. Let me see what Spirit Sword does. Spirit Sword. If your layer card is blue, negate the attack and choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost 2 or less and return it to its owner's hand. Okay. I guess it's just another negate. I can't... Normally, like, you don't want to put stuff back in your opponent's hand, but if you're playing against, like, the Kid Coup matchup, then you can just, like, bounce one of their 2-drops back, or, like, they have to pay their cost of something. So as long as they're, like, almost tapped out, it's good, but if it's like a cheap thing, then they can just replay it and gain value. So, but I don't know. I think it's a good call too. I think it's fun. Let's see. He's running all 8 super combos. Let's see. 4-3-2 Janemba split. He's also going into the Janemba. But he only is running the 3 drops, not only the 1 drop. 2 striving to be the best, I think, is good. And then Vegeta the Mater. There we go. Sparking 3 at the end of your turn, place this card in the owner's drop, then choose all your opponent's battle cards, return them to their owner's hand. Okay. That can be, I can see that being good too, in a sense of like, especially if they have like, if it's against like a storm deck, like if they don't want all their cards in their hand, they want them either in the drop area or on the field. So that can be really good. And 2 Xenobuns, which is, I think, is really bold against Tien stuff, but that makes sense to me. And in the side, nothing too crazy. He has to run Mercenary Tau, but really solid deck, and then I'm happy he did so well. Next up, we've got, let's see, I'm going to leave that tab open. We got Danny Maxey. Let's see. And I think I played this guy. We had a really close game. Is that right? Unless it wasn't Devin and it wasn't George. Okay, yeah, I played against him. Really close game. We had a bit of a ruling debacle, but which at least caused me to lose instantly. It could have gone either way in a lot of senses, and I wish it could have been truly played out, but I'm over it, even though I keep bringing it up. And just really cool deck. He has a more like aggressive kind of engine with it, with the Champa, and he has the Sake Demon and stuff, but also rank the Vegito and the 2 Godstrike Beerus. But really cool deck. And yeah, you can't. I don't know. I don't like talking about mill decks just because you can't alter the template that much anymore. But really good job. Next up, we've got who is this? Is Butters? Yeah. His deck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the same. Let's see. Right? Yeah, more just almost the same. Just very different, very close in the the ratios. But yeah, see what I mean? Like a lot of these decks, not to like Butters, you did a really good job, and you obviously made top 16 and stuff, but there's not, the mold is there for these decks, and it's been there for months, and so ratios can be a really important thing, but there's not like a bunch of spice cards that people are finding at the last minute. So and then here's is George Hernandez, same kind of thing, and anything spicy. No, just it's a well-known archetype. I don't want to be disrespectful. These guys did really good, but there's that. Next up, we've got the Yellow Broly. This is Marcel's. No, wait. Is this Marcel's or is this Ricardo's? Yeah, that's that. This is Ricardo's. Okay. Ricardo, Yellow Victory Strike. I would have been super scared to play against this, to be honest. This deck can be really good and really scary, and I don't like it, but he did a really good job. He's running 2 Shigesh because he's not afraid of Cronoa. And yeah, this still puts in work. And it's just good, right? Getting out Victory Strike on turn 4 when they tap down all their energy. What are they going to do, right? Like it's impossible. And even if they do win, they do defend it, you get a second attack. It's stupid. It's crazy. I like it, but it's stupid. So there we go. There's that. And then we've got Marcel Russell with the super not afraid 4 Shugesh, GT. I think it was a really good meta call. Everyone's afraid of anything else but Cronoa. Like Cronoa is like the last thing on their mind for a lot of players, including myself. I thought about it, but I was like, nah, it's not worth it. But which is why I'm lucky I didn't play against them. But really fun, strong deck. If you can get cards out for free with Shugesh, like you've got your Super Saiyan Son Goku. You get to 4 life so easy with this guy, so there's that, and then you've got your Victorious Strikes and your Triple Flashes, and you can also Explosive, and you can run Cold Bloodlust in this deck and Batterings, and he's also getting Full Greed with the Secret Rare, which I think is the right move. So really, really strong deck, and happy that he was able to. He got 16th in standings, so I'm happy he was able to make it. So there's that. And then lastly, we've got Jacob Dave's Golden Frieza deck. Really like this deck. It was one of my contenders. Just the fact that you can run Cold Bloodlust and just do some fancy stuff with this. I think it's really good. I got kind of lucky against my games where I was just able to get a Yellow Whis on the board and keep it there for the entirety of both games. Which means that he was not untapping with his leader effect and stuff like that. So just really powerful against this deck. But seriously, he still gave me a run for my money. And especially there was the 3 when he got these androids out. Like I didn't really have any hard removal for it. So like I had to like kind of wish just that away, which felt really bad and stuff like that. So really good. He had these Frieza's biding his time. He tried his best to get rid of my Whis, but it just didn't work out. So really close match. Also, like if people are wondering like why the Tagoma, like this is a really good card in this deck. Like you don't get the draw like Wish effect, but you get to play it for free, and then like you get so if you're unawakened, it's just like it cycles itself too. It just literally says draw one or like untap a card, right? And or untap 1 energy, and when you're awakened, it says like play this card, untap 2 energy. It's super strong. Don't think it's not. So really cool deck. Once again, happy he did so well, and there's that. So I think that's everyone. I think that's the full man, I am so tired. Thank you guys so much for watching. The link for this will be in the description. Thank you for everyone else who did the work for me. I appreciate the week off for that, and and it was great to see everyone at the event, and it was just super cool. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.